This is Gary Russo. I'm a MarkLogic developer. I'm going to do a quick screencast to try to walk through the Roxy framework. I use Roxy. Roxy is my primary framework that I use for building xQuery applications. And let me just quickly talk about how I could do this. So to begin with, we're going to do a little sample application using some blog post data that was published by a website called Boing. It's boingboing.net. This is the website, and they were nice enough to publish their archives. I'll show you what the archive looks like. This is the file. I'll provide a link on the blog post. You'll be able to download it yourself. It's one big, large XML file, and each row node, I wrote some xQuery code that's going to chop this up into small pieces. So each row node becomes a separate XML document. Key things to note about this: I'm going to create range indexes. Range indexes is something that MarkLogic uses to do the faceting. So I'm going to create a range index for the created on, only that I'm going to use just the year, and I'll ignore the other characters. I'm going to create a range index on author and also on categories. Actually, there's going to be a category node that will show shortly. So quickly jump over to how I do the ingestion. I use the Query Console. Query Console is a application that MarkLogic developers use for writing xQuery code. I use it to ingest data. So here's a quick showing of the code. I copied that XML file into a Unix box, which is called psdemo.marklogic.com, and there's a directory called tmp, and I put it in there. So I'll run this shortly. Quickly scroll up, and you can see I was going to use this tidy function, and I'm also going to use, so for each XML document I'm going to create a unique name. I use this #64 function to do this. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show you is that I already did this and pre-cooked it, and MarkLogic has this thing called App Builder, which allows you to quickly build a search app, really with no coding required. And this is pretty much what it looks like. There's this one page here where you set the range indexes, and then there's a deployment tab here. And let me just show you what the end result looks like. End result looks like this. It's this two-column layout, and these are the facets. So I could look at this blogger here. I could drill down further. Nothing fancy, just no code required. Just got up and running. It's very nice stuff. I thought it's really useful for testing out search capabilities. If I want to search on BitTorrent DRM, let me fix that. Let's see, we have 23 results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this application and I'm going to create a Roxy version of this. So let me go offline for a bit and prepare for that. Okay, we're back. I just wanted to show you where you could get the Roxy code. You go to github/marklogic/Roxy. You get the code from here. I think you want to quickly look at the getting started section, and we're pretty much going to do this here. I'll run a couple of these commands. So Roxy uses Ruby. The good news is you don't need to know anything about Ruby. You just install it, and then we'll just do a quick demo of that. So let me show you. I have downloaded the Roxy code. I'm going to pull it and just copy it verbatim from GitHub, which, let me grab a copy right here. So I'm copying everything here except for these files here. Putting in a directory called Boing Roxy. It's going to go into this directory. Let me paste it. So there we go. This is the code base. Just wanted to show you directory structure. Let me use my oxygen tool here to get a better view for the code. So you can see the deploy subdirectory has a lot of the Ruby code. You don't really need to know too much about it. The key files here is the build properties, mlconfig xml. If we go back to the web page here in GitHub, it has the instructions, and they say to run this command ml init. So let's do this. So I'm at the command line right now. First off, if you want to see the Roxy commands, just ml-h, and there you have it. So got a dozen or so of these commands. Let me just do the init command, and I'm going to call it we'll call it boing.roxy. And what that does, it creates the initial build.properties file. Let's go right to my oxygen tool here. I'm just going to refresh a bit. And open up the build. Here we go. So you can see it puts the name Boing Roxy in there. I will want to uncomment. I want to create the test harness, so let me uncomment this guy. I'm going to use different port. I'm going to change to 8092. And I want to use the triggers. And let me see. Let's change this to 8090. 8091. The other thing I want to do is to use application level authentication. I don't want to be bothered with logging in at this point. And the default user will be admin. The other thing to do, here's the local server. I'm going to deploy it to the dev server, and this is going to be called ps.demo.marklogic.com. So we have the properties file set. The other thing I wanted to modify is the ml-config.xml. This is where we're going to add the range indexes that we talked about earlier. Let me scroll down to show you where their place is. Here it is. So in this area, let me just delete that. I have some pre-canned code. I'm going to just copy it from there. Paste it right in. So that's all we need to do here. The other file to open up is the config.xquery file, and this has the default search options that we're going to use, and I could pretty much pull this from App Builder, but let me I also have a copy of the code for this as well. Okay, I think we're good. So you can see that it's utilizing the 3 range indexes, and the labels for the range indexes are right down here. At this point, let's go ahead and deploy. So Roxy deployer has this thing. So I type in ml dev, that means going to the dev server, it's the remote server, and I want to do a bootstrap. And this is just going to deploy. It's going to create the forest, it's going to create the database and the app servers. Let's give that a few minutes. It's a remote server, and the server that I'm using has a lot of other apps on it, so it's going to take a little bit while it's doing that. This is really what the MarkLogic admin page looks like. Once that's done running, you'll see Boing Roxy database, you'll see a Boing Roxy app server, and you'll see the Boing Roxy forests. So let me give that a few minutes. Okay, you can see that it says the bootstrap is complete. let's go to the admin console here. And there you can see there's the Boeing Roxy content. That's the primary database. I'm going to click on this. And we'll see that our range indexes should be there. And there you go. Author, category, and created on. The interesting thing is that there is no data. So if I click on this status tab here, so we got 0 documents right now. So that's okay. We're going to deploy. So at this point, I'm going to deploy the code. To do that, I just type in ml space dev deploy modules. So it's going to deploy the model view controller code, which is the key part of Roxy. It's also going to deploy the test harness. 77 documents right there is the model view controller application code. And then you're going to see another, here we go, 63 documents. That's really for the test harness. So once this is done deploying, I should be able to go right to the URL and give it a test run, and we shouldn't see any data. Okay, let's try it. So I go over to, there you go. Amazing. No data, you can see it's empty, but we have the facets here. Everything's queued up. The other thing I wanted to show you was the test harness. So that's running on port 8092, and gotta put the test in the URL. And there we have the Roxy unit test harness. I could run these tests right now. There's really some boilerplate test code in place right now, but it's worth giving a test run. Okay, looks good so far. Next step is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run this XQuery code using the QC console, and we're going to ingest some data. So I'm going to go offline for another few minutes just to do this. Thanks. Okay, back. I finished ingesting all the data using the query console tool here. I click on this Explore button. We could see that there is 64,000 documents. We'll take a quick look at one of them here to see how it looks like. See, they're all very small documents. It's something that MarkLogic excels at. They prefer smaller XML docs. So if I click on, here's the example of what one document looks like. The Senegal president. Yeah, you can see the body here. I didn't run the tidy on this, but you can see here is an example of a category, international. And we have the author. So we have the range index for the created on, just the year, author, and category. So let's go take a look at their application now. There you have it. So we have 64,000 documents. You have the facets here. Let me drill down and you'll see further details. As we did before, I could do a search. And we have 31 documents. I'm not quite sure if that's in sync with the app builder, but we could investigate further later. Important to note that there's 3 columns here. What I want to do next is to change that. I'm going to change it back to a 2-column. So to show you how to do that, if you look here, there's the config XQuery file. Let's go back to the directory structure again. In here, it says 3-column layout, which means it calls this XQuery file. Let me change that to 2, and we'll save this, and I'm going to just deploy it. We'll deploy modules. Let's see if we see a big difference. Once that's done, I'll do a quick refresh. Okay, let's try it, refresh here. And there you go, there's 2 columns. Simple as that. I'm going to switch it back to 3 columns. In a future screencast, I'll talk about adding some nice widget controls. I'll switch it back. So this is the beauty of the deployer. I could quickly redeploy. And I could put this all into version control. And let's see. When that's done, we could just do a refresh. It'll be back to normal. Okay, back to the 3 columns. This is Gary Russo, a MarkLogic developer. Thanks for watching.